Hi everyone, this is Cat Demon 43, or better, probably mostly known as a writer, Taryn Beret. I'm using my real name. Figured I might as well, because, if you're trying to get yourself out there, it only makes sense. Mainly, I'm just going to be talking about some of the books that I have worked on and the goals that I'd like to try to do. I'm trying to get myself out there, be more open, get more people interested in my stuff. It's just kind of hard. You could say, it's always going to be hard no matter what you're doing, whether it's a video game channel, a music channel, or movies, shows, comics, novels like me, and just stuff in general. And let's face it, I am probably not the greatest with video games, and mainly when it comes to my books, I can be kind of no, I'm pretty reclusive. And I know people probably aren't interested in that kind of thing. They want to be outgoing and stuff, and I do too. It's just when it comes to doing my research or a type of book that I'm working on, I feel like I need to be by myself or I get distracted. I get extremely distracted when it comes to what I write. If I have people constantly talking to me, my attention will just go out the window. But anyway, I ended up going to a convention recently, and that convention was Fan Expo 2016, and I sold two of my books, which are Rowan a Roman, Noah, and Mermaid. And to my surprise, I kept thinking not many people would be buying these books, etc., because it was my first convention. I didn't know what people would think. And to my surprise, my book Mermaid sold out. I wasn't expecting any of that. It took me at least a week after the convention to come down from that. Oh my god, I sold out, and just, oh my gosh. And I was extremely happy. I felt so happy that people were interested in my book and they wanted to read it, even with Mermaid having all those grammatical and grammar and spelling errors and all that other stuff. But it just made me very happy that people bought the book and I could meet these people face to face. I couldn't meet all of them because there was things at the convention I had to do. Getting some autographs, some of which were for my brothers for Christmas. They're not gonna know because they don't watch my videos. And yeah, it made me extremely happy. That's all I can really say on that. I'm very much the type that will be very grateful, humble to those who are interested in my stuff. And I've always been like that. If people like my stuff, I am very happy at that they like it, and I want to hear what they have to say. I want to know what they liked, what they didn't like, what changes I could potentially make. But it also comes to a certain point, because depending on the story that I'm working on will depend on the genre or what my initial goal is. And I find that some people don't understand that. And I can understand, and I get it. I get why, because they want it to be done in a certain way. But I'm the type that likes to break from the mold, break away from the formula, and I think that's why Mermaid became so popular. And on Wattpad alone, it's at, last time I checked, like, it's up on Wattpad for people to read. I'm not gonna say, oh, you gotta buy the book. If there are fans who want to buy the book when they meet me, all for it. Go for it. But if you want to read it online on your own time, that's also a thing you can do, because I've told some people at the convention, a number of people at the convention, that if you want to read it online, you can. Costs nothing. There's basically no changes to it, but people still bought my book. So And some even asked for autographs, which made me feel all kinds of embarrassed. I had the urge to hide under the table. But going back to what I was saying with genres breaking from the mold, with Mermaid specifically, it's a psychological horror about a girl who turns into a mermaid. And it hasn't not I haven't found any book that's done something like that, or at least made it feel real. Because in some of the books that I've run across, it's always, oh, I'm a mermaid, now I have legs. Or in the case of my main character, Erica, when she slowly becomes a mermaid, it's very wait, no. Sorry. Doing this no script. Just talking. But basically, in a lot of books that I've run across involving a girl who does turn into a mermaid, it's like, oh, I have a tail. Yay! And I'm like, well, no, I wouldn't react. This is me, personally. I wouldn't react like that. I'd be horrified. I'd have all these questions. I want to know why. And essentially, that's what this story is. It's her journey, Erica's journey, finding out who she really is, and what she should do from there. And I ended up getting, this is back when I had it completely up, before I took a number of the chapters down, and then eventually re-uploaded them. I got some comments of people saying, oh, this is great, but add romance. And my initial thought was just, why romance? And I did ask this person, and their response was for moral support. And my thought on this was just her friends, or her family don't count as moral support. You don't always need to insert random guy A or random guy X as the love interest in equaling to moral support, and I've never been a fan of that. Or it's just like, it's kind of, you could say it's also one of the reasons why I don't like Twilight, but if you guys want to hear me rant on about why I don't like Twilight, I'm more than willing to do a rant on Twilight. But that's with Mermaid specifically. That's that genre breaking kind of thing, where it doesn't go in the direction you think it will. And it's also the same with Rowena Roman. And I know some people pronounce it as Rowena, but I pronounce it as Rowena, so like more emphasis on the W. No, the E, I should say. But anyway, with Rowena Roman, it's a book series, and I'm working on the second book. But it's about an immortal and the people that she interacts with. But it's through those people's perspective. And I find a lot of people don't like the fact that my main character, Diana, who's the immortal, has no love interest. And people have said, oh, you should have Noah, whose perspective is the first story, and be in love with Diana. And that made no sense to me, because it's not about romance. It's about those people's lives, and how meeting an immortal could potentially change that, or not change it at all. In some of my books, the stories that I do intend to write, in some cases, some of these people never find out that Diana's an immortal. They just see her as a regular person, and it's their lives, some of which will be action-packed or very mundane. There's always one or very much in between, which is kind of what Noah's story is. He is the very in-between character, because he's on the run from this one guy who saw Diana get killed from this unknown stranger. And basically it's the crutch point of his interaction with her, and how he kind of grows and matures as a character. Essentially, this is kind of like, Diana is more of a back piece, you could say. Like, she's in every story. She's going to be in every story, but it won't necessarily be about her. It will be about the people that she meets. And in going back to what I was saying involving with romance and immortality, I used to read a number of romantic stories involving immortals. I still do, sometimes. It depends on my mindset and my mood. But I've gotten very out of touch with it. It started feeling kind of forced. And I have nothing against the writers who do immortality and romance and stuff like that, but I've run across several stories where an immortal, quote unquote, meets a human. They fall in love, and then by the end, the human magically becomes immortal, and that kind of started to rub me the wrong way, because granted, it's their book, they can do what they want, but for me, it just didn't feel realistic, and that kind of what gave me the idea for Diana and the series, basically about an immortal and the people she interacts with, and she can never truly have a real good. She can have long relationships, yeah, if they find out she's an immortal, but in some cases, those relationships can become sour, bitter, horrible, and they might even try to kill her. And those aren't stories I'm working on yet, but it is there. And because if you were to meet an immortal, would you be happy? Would you want to know about this person? Or would you be downright afraid? Or would you be somewhere in the middle? And I just don't think a number of people seem to get that. And I try to make it very realistic that immortality can be a horrible, horrible thing. And again, with the romance books, no offense to the writers for this, but in their books, it feels very romanticized. How in some of the books, they're always gloomy, and it makes sense that they would be gloomy. You live for a very long time. You're going to have a personality change. Or, yeah, but, I mean, it's just something about that makes it feel kind of forced, or their backstory is forced. I mean, in Diana, you don't even know what her backstory is. You just know that she is an immortal, and she'll help you, or your friend, or a kid, or heck, a puppy. maybe not a puppy, but yeah, and I don't know, it's just, again, no script, just going on a tangent here about this. I always kept thinking, if an immortal actually existed, what would they do with their trials, their tribulations, and a number of things. And there are some stories that I wanted to write for Diana, but it'd be too short. So I started also working on a series of short stories. The first being the Fake Duchess, which, if anyone is interested, you can read it on Wattpad. The beta version of Diana, of the first book, and the beta version for the second one, and the rough draft for the short story are all on Wattpad. The official one that's been edited and all that stuff for the first book is out and published, and if you want to buy it, go ahead. If not, that's okay too. It's all your opinion, well, it's your choice, and I respect that too. My stories, I know, are not going to be for everyone, because I'm the type that likes to try to break away from the mold. I am more on the whole families and morality and choices that you make can affect how you do things and your personality, and I like realism in stories. Heck, I like realism in fantasy, and even, hell, I like stupid crap too. I have days where I've written, I have a story called Absurdities and Oddities, and that is all of the bombastic, stupid shit that comes into my head. And just, you know what, I'm gonna go all out and write this. Think of it like Kill la Kill, One Punch Man, and, an abridged series. Like, kind of something like that, because I don't know, there are times where my brain just wants to go off and just do whatever the heck it wants, and that's what Absurdities and Oddities are. It's kind of like my tool for relaxing. Just write random crap. But when I become very serious with my writing, I tend to think on a realistic scale. And with immortality, with finding out you're a mermaid, and just a number of other stories that I have up. Not so much my older ones. My older ones on Wattpad are I'm not kind of cringeworthy to me. But then again, I'm older, so it's whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little tangent on some of the stuff that I've written. I'll probably try to make a better video about this, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents worth on what I think about immortality and my take on mermaids, because I had to do a lot of research, a lot of information digging, and there's some stuff I know I can definitely change. And it's the same with the first book for Rona Roman, because I realized after a couple of months after I had it published that there was an error in my book and I couldn't fix it because I'm doing all the research myself. I don't have a team. I'm unable to pay people because I have no money. Well, no, I have, you know what I mean. But yeah, that's all I really have to say on this. And if anyone is cool in wanting to know more about my books, feel free to let me know if I am able to do a proper video on Mermaid, go into more detail about Mermaid, which will contain spoilers, or Rona Roman, which will also contain spoilers, or other stuff that I've worked on. I'm more than willing to do it. And yeah, I'd really just like to get people's opinions. I've always been that kind of person, wanting to know what they think and what I could do to do better. And because as a writer, you never really grow unless you hear what people think. Granted, it can be good or it can be bad or somewhere in between, but without people's other opinions, you can never change, and I think that's really important. But again, it's always also comes down to what you are writing and what you want to write, and there's always like a fine line between writing for you, writing for others, and that gray area in between. And I've always tried to strive for that area, just writing for both, because some people really like it, other people won't. That's just how life is. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to know more, let me know what you think, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. Bye, guys.